Hello, my name is Linda Eanes and I'm the 4-H agent in Cumberland County, and I'm here today with Hannah Overacre, who is my next door neighbor as well as a member of the 4-H program. Hannah, thank you for helping me with my project today. And what we're going to be teaching you today is we're going to be teaching you the parts of an insect. And Hannah has agreed to help me by dressing up like an ant. So stay tuned and learn more about the parts of an insect. All insects have is they have a head. And on that head they have compound eyes. Now, compound eyes allow the ant to see multiple things. So it will look at a flower and see hundreds of flowers where we may only see one flower. All ants have antennae on their head. All insects have a thorax, and on the thorax they have 6 legs. The last part of the insect would be the abdomen. And Hannah's going to put the abdomen on to complete our ant costume. So keep in mind that all insects have 3 body parts: the head, the thorax, the abdomen. They all have 6 legs, they all have compound eyes, and they all have antennae. And Hannah and I would like to teach you a song so that you can remember the parts of an insect. So here we go. It goes something like this. Head, thorax, abdomen, 6 legs. Head, thorax, abdomen, 6 legs. Compound eyes and 2 antennae. Head, thorax, abdomen, 6 legs. Wasn't that a lot of fun? Hannah, I really appreciate you for helping me with this project. I couldn't have done it without you. You made a really great ant.
Hi, this is Ruth Wallace. I'm the 4-H agent in Buckingham, and as part of our wildlife detective camp, Exploring Life in a Tree, I was asked to talk a little bit about insects and collecting insects. And the reason they asked me to do this is because when I was your age, I collected insects. In fact, it was one of my major 4-H project areas for a number of years, beginning towards the end of elementary school and continuing up into high school, with the major focus during my middle school years. So let's talk a little bit about insects. First of all, let's make sure we know what an insect is. Insects typically have 3 body parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. And they have 6 legs. Those legs are actually attached to the thorax. And it's hard to tell that in this picture, but if you could just imagine yourself flipping this beetle over and taking a look, the legs would actually attach to that middle body segment. Insects usually have 2 pair of wings, and the wings typically are attached to that body segment as well. Insects have compound eyes and they have 2 antennae. Now, occasionally you're going to find some insects that don't really seem to have 3 distinct body parts. And that's because the head and the thorax are merged to form something called a cephalothorax. So again, answering our question, what is an insect? Lots of people use the term bugs, and it's often used to include any form of creepy crawly, including insects and spiders, but it's actually a very, very inaccurate or misused term. Spiders are not insects. They have 8 legs, and they don't have any of the other characteristics of insects. However, within the group of insects, There are a number of different orders. For instance, butterflies are part of a specific order, flies are part of a specific order, beetles are part of a specific order, and guess what? Bugs, true bugs, have an order of their own as well. So the true bugs are just one order of insects, meaning that all bugs are insects if you use the term correctly, but not all insects are bugs. So you kind of have to be careful when you use the term bugs. So where can we find insects? Insects are everywhere. We find them flying through the air, around lights, and not just moths are attracted to lights. Other insects are attracted to lights as well. We find them on wood, maybe a fallen log or a wood pile, on the bark and leaves of trees, burrowed into the tree bark or under the tree bark as well. We can find insects on the ground or even dug into the soil, on fruit. Think about fruit flies or other butterflies that may come to get the syrupy sweet. We can find insects on animals. Think about nuisance insects like fleas or mosquitoes, horseflies, things like that. Insects can be found near water, and they can be found in buildings. As you're collecting insects, you can use any number of materials. There's lots of things that you can make or buy, but you can also find collecting materials laying around the house. Basically, you need something to collect them with and something to put them in. You can use your hands, a net, a trap, a jar with a lid. I used to collect insects all the time using a net, which my mother and I made ourselves, or just simply taking a jar with a lid out and capturing the insect that way. Once you've collected your insect, you're going to need to determine what you're going to do with it. Are you just going to keep it in the jar to look at it, study it, identify it, and then let it go after a little bit of time? Or are you going to go ahead and put it in an insect killing jar where you're going to kill your insect so that you can pin it and put it in a display case later. Here on this slide we have a picture of some common insect collecting tools and a display mechanism. In the top we have a beetle that has been pinned and labeled, and then at the bottom we have just a snapshot of an insect collection with them properly pinned and labeled and on display. There are lots of places that you can display your insects. Aside from just showing them off to family and friends, you can submit your insect collections to the 5-county fair for judging. And we also have a neat contest called Hokey Bug Fest that takes place in the fall of the year at Virginia Tech, where you can submit your insect collections for judging as well. Purdue Extension has some really good, although a little bit corny, videos specifically aimed towards 4-H youth about collecting insects. I've got the links here. You notice episode 1 is not listed. Episode 1 is just a basic introduction that tells you there are some more videos coming that tell you about insect collecting. So if you're interested in insect collecting, you can check out those videos, and if you are really serious about it, we have some leftover materials at the Extension office from an insect camp we did this summer, and we'd be happy to help you get set up with some basic materials for that purpose. Just contact us either in Buckingham or in Cumberland, and we can make arrangements for you to get those materials. Thanks. Have a great day.